Good morning. Good morning. This is such a wonderful, wonderful day. The weather cooperated again. Everybody looks great. We've had a good time. Everybody having a good time? Good, good. We just had the match. As Jerry would tell you, this is called the heart-to-heart tennis experience. So we're about to go into the fourth experience. The first experience was the workout and the jazzercise. The second experience were the clinics, and the third experience where everybody's starting to play their matches. And the fourth experience is the greatest event of all times, which is the press conference for $18 million renovation to the Southeast Tennis and Learning Center. So I don't want to, waste too much time, but I kind of get choked up. I have the great honor, and I've had it before, but every time it has more and more meaning of introducing the person who is almost solely responsible for this renovation, who has been coming to the Southeast Tennis and Learning Center for years and really looked around one day and said, we need to upgrade this. Now, of course, I might have spoken to him one or two times about it, but you guys, I don't bug nobody. Why is he laughing? But I will tell this story. A few months back in April, I went to visit a friend who had a birthday party. I left on a Thursday. I didn't get back to a Sunday. And that was only significant in that my phone rang about midnight. And somebody said, is this the Southeast Tennis and Learning Center? And it was the mayor. And I said, so you're a comedian now? So he said, well, I haven't heard from you. And I said, about what? Well, what had happened was they had announced the budget, and they had announced the $18 million, and I had missed the whole thing. So he was like, well, she ain't even called and say, I'm happy or nothing. So he had to call me so I could say, yay! So with no further ado, I'd like to introduce the Mayor of the District of Columbia, Vince Gray.
All right. There we go. Good morning. And it is 11:30, right? Now, what a great day this is. I first of all want to salute the person who we know is a moving force behind this, and that, of course, is Cora Masters Barry. I think we all know that she is just an incredible advocate for the young people of the District of Columbia, and certainly has been an advocate for the children of the city. And this center is absolutely phenomenal. For those of you for whom this may be the first time here, I hope you will take the opportunity to go through it. And it's great to see some of the people who are here. Mike, good to see you. Good to see the Masters family. We got three generations here today, right? And we see who's in charge now. In any event, I don't think there's enough accolades that we can accord Cora for the work that she has done to make this place what it is. I want to recognize the scholars. I want to recognize the parents. I want to recognize the friends, all of those who come together to make this place what it is today. I also want to recognize Mark Ein. Mark Ein has done he has what arguably is the most successful professional team of any sport now in the world. Yeah. I think they had 34 consecutive victories, which, did that set the record by one? Set the record, then they lost right after that. It was like, we're going to set the record, and then we're going to come back and start a new streak so we can get to 35 or 36 or 37 or whatever the case may be. And they won the championship again this year. Mark, I want to thank you for what you've done for tennis here in the District of Columbia, having brought world-class tennis here. And it's wonderful to go down there and watch the matches and see so many of our children who were down there watching the matches, to get them motivated to be able to be involved in tennis, which frankly historically is not a sport that you have found much of here in the District of Columbia. I'm a native Washingtonian. I grew up being involved in athletics, but there wasn't much in terms of tennis. Nobody really played tennis in my neighborhood because there was no place to play tennis. People played basketball, they played baseball, they played football. But sports like tennis and swimming were really difficult to be able to connect with. And so, Mark, you and Cora working together have really changed that. I want to thank Ronnie Goodall, who is the executive director of the USTA, I guess here in Washington, for being with us today, and all the folks who are here. I think this is the 15th annual, right? Yeah. Heart to Heart, 15th annual. And Heart, H-E-A-R-T, to H-A-R-T. And I know that was your innovation, wasn't it?
Yeah, because this used to be the Heart Court.
I see. Okay, well, now we got the history too, right?
Yeah.
In any event, it's wonderful also to just come down here and see the kids who are playing tennis now as almost a routine part of their life. And what is the slogan? Tennis is the hook, but learning is the key?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you know what? You see that all the time down here. Kids who are learning how to play tennis, but Cora, being the taskmaster that she is, make sure that these kids also learn something that's going to serve them throughout life while they're here. And when you go in here, you see the classrooms, you see the classroom experiences that are taking place, and all that comes with that. And the other thing is, how many of you been to the Blacks and Wax event? Yeah. It really is absolutely incredible, and probably will be significantly enhanced. Okay, will probably be significantly enhanced by virtue of the renovations that we're going to do here. It will be an $18 million investment that we are making, and I'm really proud to be able to be a part of that. Now, we know who the advocate was for that, right? Let me tell you what she did to me one day. Since she's telling stories, okay? As I often do, I came down here to an event, and I was really pumped about the $18 million. And so we're inside watching this event, fashion show and whatnot, and she and Jesus ganged up on me. She brought out this plan that was about this thick, right? And you know what the point of it was? The point was, let me tell you why $18 million is not enough. But you know what? That's good advocacy. And she's a good sport when you say no also. Anyway, $18 million is going to do a lot for this facility. It's, we're going to have 6 new hard courts. We're going to have a practice court. We're going to have interior courts, which will be wonderful. Just new interior courts. Have y'all ever been down here on a day when it's raining? And see, it really is a disaster. I don't know. It's great that we got this built, but it doesn't look like we did the best workmanship either. And it's a city facility, so we'll take responsibility for that. We're going to make sure that we don't have wet cinder blocks and all of that in the future when we do the renovations. We're going to take care of those kinds of things. And there's all kinds of other features that we're going to include, especially a tot lot, as we get our kids at the very youngest ages possible involved in tennis. If they can pick up a racket, they can learn how to play tennis, can't they? Because it is not an easy sport, but it's a sport that a lot of our kids need to be exposed to. I also want to thank, they're not here today, but Serena and Venus, who have been regulars down here, who have been such a motivation to our children. Oh, okay. Oh, great. They have been such a motivation to the kids here. And for those of you who haven't gotten to meet them, they're really such nice people also. It's nice to see people who have risen to the highest levels of its professional endeavor in the world, and yet they're still like regular folks. Isn't that nice? And so I hope that they will be here at least for the ribbon cutting when we finish this facility. So again, this is Ward 8. This is the District of Columbia's most challenged ward in a lot of respects. I happen to live on the east end of the city. And by the way, I don't use the term east of the river anymore, because when you say east of the river, people think the other side of the tracks. And I don't want to think that I live on the other side of the tracks. I live in an area of the city that is just as wonderful as any other part of the District of Columbia. And so we now are going to have what I think arguably will be the best tennis facility in the entire metropolitan region. I'm glad that the city is continuing to be an investor in this, and I'm also delighted that we have someone like Cora Masters Barry, who will continue to make sure that we stay on the path forward with this facility. Thank you all very much for being here, and let's all be back here. Let's see, the first phase will be finished in the summer of 2014, right?
Yep.
First phase finished in 2014, second phase in the summer of 2015. Let's make sure we're all here for those milestones to celebrate the continuing development of a great sport for our children, especially in the District of Columbia. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Now I have the pleasure of introducing a young lady that represents an agency that I have gotten to know very well, and their work is just so superb. You know, 2 years ago, or maybe 3 years ago, they didn't even exist. And now they have come in and has become the facility maintenance upgrade agency for all of the government. Now, I don't know about the rest of the city, but far as the Southeast Tennyson Learning Center and the Department of Parks and Recs, Department of General Services has done an excellent job. Its director is not here, so we have somebody representing him. But before I do that, I would like to acknowledge all of the employees of the Department of General Services. Would you raise your hand, please? And I would also particularly like to acknowledge a young lady named Schiffler. There she is. She is the project director, and I have never worked with anybody more professional and more on top of it and gets it more than any. I mean, when somebody gets on my nerve because they are so excellent, you know that they are doing a good job. I was like, oh my God, she's driving me crazy because she's so good. So I just want to acknowledge that and thank you for all your dedication and keeping us on track. And in the absence of Brian, who's in Boston with his 2 kids who are doing rowing, which I think is fabulous, I'd like to introduce June Locker to represent the Department of General Services.
Good morning, everyone. Again, my name is June Locker. I'm with the Department of General Services Construction Division. Unfortunately, Director Hanlon couldn't be here today, as Ms. Barry had said he's with his kids. This is his Brian's son's last year rowing, so he just wanted to make sure he was there to support them. So today we're here to celebrate the start of a project that will enhance an already outstanding tennis and education program here at Southeast Tennis and Learning Center. At this site, district residents, again, not only learn and play tennis, but they use the site to enhance their educational skills. So we are really excited and honored to be partnering with the Department of Parks and Recreation, Ms. Cora Masters Barry, the staff and volunteers of the Southeast Tennis and Learning Center to design and renovate the center. So I just wanted to take a little bit of time to explain the different components of the project. The major outside, we will be demolishing the 6 existing outdoor hard courts, and we will be replacing them with 6 new 78-foot hard courts and a 178-foot clay tech court outside here. There will also be new exterior sports lighting and tennis cabanas. The existing bubble behind us that you see right here will be demoed, and we will be replacing it with 6 new hard courts inside, and it will be enclosed with a new structure with masonry walls and a steel structured roof. Let's see.
Don't leave out the mezzanine.
Oh, yes, and the mezzanine. This is the most exciting, well, one of the most exciting things is that we are also adding a mezzanine level so that spectators will be able to watch tournaments and matches indoors. There'll be an elevator and stairs to access the mezzanine level. In addition, there will be renovations in the interior of the building, which will include a new lobby, a multi-purpose room, office spaces, the expanded warming kitchen, a new conditioning room, a new pavilion, a new renovated locker rooms, and storage areas. So as you can see, we're doing a pretty good overhaul, and that will be exciting. Besides the new play equipment, tot lot that the mayor had already spoken of, we are also adding a new marquee sign outside, which will be nice. Well, we'll have updates on events that are coming at the center. In addition, we're happy to say the facility will be staying operational during the entire construction process. There will be some minor tweaking, but we envision that when we're starting with the tennis bubble, and then when that is complete, then we'll start on the outdoor courts, so that there will always be courts to play on. The building is also being targeted for at a minimum of a LEED Silver rating. That will be good. At this time, I'd also like to introduce our DGS project team staff. Ms. Barry already spoke very highly of Shilpa Karti, who is the project manager and the day-to-day. I just want to, as I recognize you, please just raise your hand. Marcos Miranda, who's the project exec for this project from DGS. Hakeem Chambers, who is also a senior project manager with DGS, will also be helping out. We brought the full stops for this project because we know how important it is to the city and to DGS and DPR. I'd also like to introduce you to our architects of Moody Nolan, who have taken our vision and design of the new space and provided these designs that you see here today. And if, please, Linda Nonelli. And Gary Hearn. Gary. And finally, we are happy to announce that we have selected a builder who we've just brought on board this week, and the builder is Turner Construction. Over here is Mr. Tom Engers, the project exec for the project. Miss Lisa Zahn, project manager, sitting over here. And Ms. Janice Johnson is also here, who will be the procurement manager for the project. Just to give you a little bit of background on Turner Construction and why we picked them, they have been building sports facilities since 1909, and it started with the Harvard University football stadium, and they've consistently been ranked as one of the largest sports facilities builders in the United States. Some of their most recent tennis accomplishments have been at the University of Pennsylvania, where they received for the Clay W. Lynn B. Hamlin Tennis Center, which was a $35 million project, and they received the American Sports Builders Association Outstanding Facilities of the Year for outdoor tennis in 2012. In addition, some noteworthy local projects include the renovation of RFK Stadium for the arrival of Washington Nationals, along with the new Nationals baseball stadium. So again, I just wanted to introduce our team, and we thank you for letting us talk a little bit about this while we're interrupting your tennis tournament. But it looks like play is really good, and thanks again, and we'll see you at the ribbon cutting.
Thank you, June. Before I bring up the person who's been the project manager and been working with us, I want to acknowledge the new interim director of the Department of Recreation, Parks and Recreation, who has been so gracious to join us, and we're going to be working with her. And I would like her to stand and be acknowledged, Dr. Shanklin. And I'm very excited about working with her because she likes programs, and she's going to come over here and see our program. See, most people come to our big events, but they never come when we're doing the everyday stuff that really leads into this. This doesn't happen because somebody planned an event. This happens because there's an organization of people who adhere to the concept of excellence. And so when it's time to do something, we're already in place. We just kick it off. And I'm bragging because I'm so proud of the staff. And in saying that, before I acknowledge the Department of Parks and Recreation, would all the staff of the Southeast Tennis and Learning Center please stand? Coach Vivian, Coach Ebony, Coach Denisa, Ms. Hauser, Coach Flood, Coach Yvonne, Baba Dwayne, Katrina, Janine, did I leave out anybody? Janice, Wilma, Roma Zachariah, Lindy, and of course Jerry, who I'm going to hear. Okay, everybody decide, we have, this may seem like I always forget Tamika. Tamika is my executive assistant. If it wasn't for Tamika, I wouldn't get up in the morning. And I don't know why I always forget her. She's like air. She's just so necessary. Tamika, where are you? Somewhere working. So I just want to say to you all that we have a lot of meetings getting ready for this. It may seem simple, but it is not. There's a lot of moving parts. And so we work together with DPR and we work with DGS, but mostly we work with each other to get this where it is today. And I'm, very proud of that. The next person I want to introduce is, I call him Man for All Seasons, because he sort of wears all these different hats. He has been very much a part of the Southeast Tennyson Learning Center's growth and development and has been at the table every meeting as we prepared for this. So some of you know him as the Chief of Staff. I don't know who he is today. But he is a good guy. Thank you, Dr. Shanklin, for letting him represent the department today. Mr. John Stokes.
Is it still morning? Good morning, everybody. Oh, wait, we can do a lot better than that because we all got up this morning and having a great day. Good morning, everybody. That's what I'm talking about. So I would first of all like to, again, thank Cora Masters Barry, the CEO and founder of the Recreation Wish List. She is the reason this facility exists, in case you have any doubts or questions. Her passion for excellence is matched only by her love for these children and these youth. I remember a couple of years ago, when I first started at the Department of Parks and Recreation, I was told, there's an event going on at the Southeast Tennyson Learning Center. You might want to call down there just to make sure everything is going okay. So I dialed the Southeast Tennyson Learning Center. The voice on the end of the line said, yes, you know what? I need a press release. I need news coverage. I need TV coverage. I need flyers. I need posters. I need giveaways. I need everything, and it needs to be good quality. I said, yes, ma'am. With that, I just said, yes, ma'am. Okay? So began my journey with Cora Masters Barry and the Southeast Tennyson Learning Center. And if any of you have the privilege and the honor to work with her or just talk to her, you will become a much better person. She actually rises everything that she does. She elevates you. She makes you better than what you really thought you could ever be. So I would like to give Cora Masters Barry a round of applause for all that she does. The guests that we have here today also display their dedication to the game of tennis. Mark Ein, come on, let's be for real. 34 wins? That's unheard of. He made history in the Washington Castles. So we are actually honored to have him here today, and he's a great supporter of the Southeast Tennyson Learning Center. Ronnie Goodall, the Executive Director of the USTA, has been a fixture on the tennis scene for years and has always supported the Southeast Tennyson Learning Center. And is Brian still here? Brian Vahaley, who's one of our guest players today, played in every major tennis tournament, so we're glad to have him here today. The 15th annual Heart to Heart fundraising tennis experience promises to be a day of fun, fundraising, and learning for a cause. I know that many of you are happy to be here today. I know that without your participation, the Southeast Tennyson Learning Center would not be all that it is because, we are here today to talk about excellence. And speaking about excellence, I was in Texas a few weeks ago at the National Recreation and Parks Association annual conference where it was announced that for the first time in DPR history, DPR is now accredited. We're excited about that. Excellence, ladies and gentlemen, excellence. While the federal government was in the throes of a shutdown, the talk of the conference was of our mayor, who stood his ground, stood by his government, and kept the district government running. He is not only a star here, He's a star nationally. So I want to thank Mayor Gray for his support of all district residents, young and old, and of course, DPR. Think about it. Crime is down, school scores are up, construction is happening all across the city. He is getting it done. Excellence, ladies and gentlemen, excellence. Cora and they always mention the DPR staff. Also, I'd like to mention Rachel Newman, who's my communications manager over there. She's always running around. Michelle Phipps Evans, who's is also in our communications department. This year, the experience is highlighted by the groundbreaking that we will undertake in just a few minutes. In the heart of Ward 8. Today's event is just one of the many examples of the collaborative efforts of the RWLC, DPR, USTA, Washington Castles, DGS. Did I miss any other initials? City Open. It takes a village to keep this center running, and we're happy that everybody is here to support this. Amazing things happen when great organizations come together for one common goal, and that goal is to educate our youth and provide excellent programs, opportunities, and facilities to district residents. Today is a great day for the SCTLC, and we look forward to celebrating next year's Heart to Heart in a brand new renovated facility. And I want to, again, everybody to give a round of applause for our interim director, Dr. Sharia Shanklin, because, you know, it's not easy running DPR. There's a lot of moving parts. It's not easy. And she has done a yeoman's job, and she will continue to do a yeoman's job and work on behalf of everybody here. So again, thank you, everybody, and let's have an excellent day.
Thank you, John. I didn't acknowledge Lisa, who is working with Swanson Communication, who's done a lot of pro bono work for us with the press. Thank you, Lisa Milner. Before I introduce Mark, I just want everybody to know that the relationship between Mark Ein and the Southeast Tennyson Learning Center is not just one of events. We have a family connection, which really morphed into a very great friendship between me and Mark, most unlikely two people. But we're buddies. I mean, trust me, we fuss and, you know, all the stuff friends do. But I'm really appreciative of the support of the castles. I also see Bob Pass out there with 4 stars. The United States Tennis Association has started this new program called the Regional Training Centers. And what they do is they get various top quality tennis facilities and they branch out and they support programs throughout the region. We have been working with 4 stars, and we have several of our kids who go and they come and they work with them, and they've been very gracious, very hospitable, and very kind and helpful to our kids. So I'd like to acknowledge 4 stars and Bob Pass. Thank you so much. Also, before I introduce Mark, I also acknowledged Council Member Jack Evans, who has actually been here last year. Every time I see Jack, he says, "I'm coming to play, and I'm playing with Diamond." And I was like, I didn't pay attention the first 2 or 3 times he said it, but the last time he said it, I said, he really means this. Now, Diamond doesn't even come here anymore, so I had to email her and say, come back and practice, because Councilmember Jack Evans plans to come and play with you, and you got to be on the one. So she did do that. So when we got a call that he wasn't going to be able to play tennis, I called his office and said, oh, yes, he is. He's coming to play tennis today because Diamond's been waiting on him. So I'm so happy for you to be here. And also that he's also been very supportive of us. Last year when he was here, he acknowledged some of the problems that we have. And when the money came up, he was one of the council members who voted for. I want to thank you for that support, Councilmember Jack Evans. So now the man who just lost for a second time in a row, my good friend Mark Ein.
Only a good friend would introduce you that way. Usually, Cora, they tell you all the great things you've done, your life history, all the highlights. She's like, and here's the loser who just got his tail kicked over on court one. Thank you, my friend. But it's true. Cora and I, in some ways, we are the odd couple, but I really love Cora. She's unbelievable, and we've had great collaborations in our activities, but my favorite time with Cora is just when we get to hang out and talk about life. She's an incredibly wise person. I always tell Cora, she's tapped into the universe. She's like one of those people who just sees things and feels things that are around us, but very few people can feel and touch, and she's just one of those special people, and frankly, that's why this place is here. That's why it is what it is. And most importantly, that's why it is what it's going to be. So let's hear it for Cora Masters Barry. And I really, really love coming over here. People have said a bunch of nice things about what our team has done on the court, but the reality is the reason we started the team and our founding principles had to do with bringing the city of Washington together, giving back to the community, promoting the sport of tennis and other physical activity, and in truth, that's what we take the most pride in. And there are an incredible number of terrific tennis-related programs in Washington and in our region, and we've worked with all of them, but for sure the one that we've developed the closest relationship, the one we feel the greatest kinship with, the one we spend the most time and resources on is the Southeast Tennis and Learning Center. And it's because it is such a special place, and I've gotten to know so many of the kids who are here and the team here. In fact, I also want to mention Demisa Robinson, who you're going to hear from, who used to be my coach, and he used to come and play with me all the time. The emphasis here is on used to, because I played okay today, actually, and a lot of that was because Demisa helped me a lot, and then Cora called me and said, I need a great person to come over here and be a coach. I need a special person, and of course, the first person I thought of was Demisa. And then you have that little moment like, but if he goes there, then I'm not going to get to play with them anymore. But it's okay. I decided that we would make this a special gift. And I said, I think I have your person. And he came over here. And the fact that my game is suffering and I don't get to hit with him is so well worth it, because he is exactly the right person here to be the head coach at the Southeast Tennis and Learning Center. He grew up in Washington, D.C. He cares so deeply about the community. When we were together, he was teaching out in Northern Virginia. Honestly, he was making more money and probably working a lot less hard, but I knew there was something missing in his heart and in his soul because of the way he was talking about it. And when given the opportunity to come back in Washington, D.C. and make a difference in the best place in Washington, D.C., he jumped at the opportunity. So, Demisa, thank you for everything you do. You're awesome. All right. And I also do want to mention something about the mayor, because we talked about all of his great accomplishments, but to me, the thing that stands out the most with the mayor is that when he was elected, he ran on a campaign of one city, and when he first came to and got elected, his focus was the number one overriding goal is to create one city. And for all the amazing things he's done, which are many and too many to mention, I think the thing that you have done and you've fulfilled the promise is that it feels like we're becoming one city more than ever before. And to make the kind of investment you're making here is just indicative of that. And you've really been a great leader. You have created a feeling of one city. And let's hear it for the mayor. So just to this place for a second. So in my business, which is not playing tennis, as all of you saw, and I may mention that my opponent, Brian Bailey, did make a living playing tennis, just as a disclosure. I invest in technology companies, and when you invest in technology companies, there's three things that make the greatest companies. You have to have great hardware, you have to have great software, and you need great entrepreneurs. And I think about the Southeast Tennis and Learning Center as a place that has pretty good hardware, this facility, but definitely needs an upgrade. The software, the programs, and the people behind it are as good as anywhere you're going to find. And the reality is that what's kept this place going and so effective for a long time is that the software has been so good. The people who work here care so much. The programs are so good. They set such high expectations for all the kids that they reach levels they otherwise wouldn't. And they have one of the greatest entrepreneurs I've ever met, who I talked about, Cora Masters Barry. And the software and entrepreneurship has kept this place at an incredibly high level, and what this investment's going to do is bring the hardware to the same level and create that incredible machine that will be the Southeast Tennis and Learning Center, where you have a world-class entrepreneur, world-class software, world-class hardware and facilities. And I can't wait to come back here and see this beautiful place when it's finally done. The last thing I'd like to just say is that one of the reasons I'm so passionate about tennis is because while I was passionate about it as a kid, it did not lead to me making a living playing tennis. But the lessons that I learned on the tennis court have stayed with me my whole life. And, you know, people say tennis is a sport of a lifetime. And a lot of the main reason people say it is because you can play it your whole life. But the reason I think tennis is a sport of a lifetime is because the lessons you learn on the court stay with you for your whole life. It's unique in that you're by yourself out there, or maybe you have a partner if you're playing doubles. You need discipline, problem solving, self-reliance, continuous improvement, and it's you. You can't pass the ball when it gets tight. You can't run in the corner and stay away. You can't sit on the bench. It's you, and you've got to figure it out. And those lessons, whether they pay off on the tennis court or they pay off in whatever you do in life, are lessons that stay with all of us who played tennis. And I know they're going to stay with all the great kids who come through here. And, you know, I think there's always a tendency when you see places like this to say, what we want to do is find the next Serena and Venus, you know, or Andy Roddick or whoever. But really, to me, yes, that's a hope, and it would be great if that happened. But the really great impact of a place like this are going to be all the kids who go to college on scholarships, all the kids whose lives, who found a way to take those lessons and apply them in other parts of their lives, who become teachers and lawyers and doctors and business owners. And so, while I certainly hope that one of these kids plays for the Castle someday, what would actually make me even more happy is that the kids come and they're fans because they're local business owners, they're teachers, and they bring groups of kids. They're doctors or lawyers, or maybe even someday the greatest thing is if one of these kids actually was the owner of the Castles. And to me, that's really the great payoff of the investment in this sport and the investment in a facility like this. And it's always an honor to be here. Thanks for having me, and I can't wait for all the exciting things that are going to happen here.
Thank you, Marky. I'm sorry, Mark. I call him Marky. The next person I wanted to introduce is someone who's been with us from day one. He's done an amazing job of keeping tennis alive and vigorous and keeping all of us informed and involved in tennis in the District of Columbia, representing the United States Tennis Association and also the Washington, D.C. USTA Tennis Association, and someone who's been at the table with us from our first meeting on this Renovations, bringing the wisdom and the support of the United States Tennis Association, Mr. Ronnie Goodall.
Good morning, everyone. First, I wanted to introduce or acknowledge a couple of USTA, Washington, D.C. committee members and board members in our audience today. That would be Kelly Jackson, our delegate. Please stand, wave. Okay, Joseph Mahamati, who's our treasurer, and Lawrence Washington, sorry. He's one of our committee members. So it's a great day. I just love it. Everything that's happening today and what's going to happen to Southeast Tennis and Learning Center, I'm just so very excited. It was funny. I don't know if Mr. Mayor remembers, but we were at the players' party, and we were taking pictures. And my wife said, "Come on, get him to come over, take a picture." And I said, "Oh yeah, sure. We go way back." And I grabbed you on your shoulder. And he looked at me like I was the craziest person in the world. So, but he took the picture. But thank you. My wife was very excited about that. A quick announcement for U.S. Tennis Association, Washington, D.C., and for the Mid-Atlantic section, our Tennis Professional of the Year is the one and only Coach Yvonne Ruffin. Where's Coach? Where's the coach? She really deserves it. For years and years, my daughter started off in Tiny Tots. The Tiny Tots program is one of the best around.
In the country.
In the country. You got that right. So, Coach Yvonne, you deserve it, and you're going to be, yes. So you're going to be up for the national award as well. If they are any way thinking the right kind of way, you should win that as well. All right. Okay. For years, the Southeast Tennis Learning Center has proven to be one of our strongest partners. They have embraced our many programs and services and have made them available to numerous District of Columbia residents. These programs and services include 10 and under tennis, junior team tennis, and adult league tennis. Within the District of Columbia, we have too few facilities that can accommodate the demands of our tennis players and our organizations. With this renovation, the Southeast Tennis and Learning Center will be the best public tennis facility in the district and, dare I say, the country. The new and improved Southeast Tennis and Learning Center and its amenities will benefit our rapidly growing city and enhance our joint efforts in delivering comprehensive tennis programming to Ward 8 residents and beyond. USTA DC plans to have the Southeast Tennis and Learning Center continue to host this adult league and junior competition play year-round. We are pleased that this facility will have a state-of-the-art indoor tennis facility with a mezzanine to accommodate spectators, friends, and family. Currently in DC, there are no facilities that have a mezzanine, which I think is very important. And I know that yes, that the mezzanine is a big, big deal. I mean, just imagine sitting upstairs in the VIP section, or no VIP sections?
Sometimes.
Okay, so just sitting upstairs watching and enjoying a match. Parents can be a little bit out of the way. They won't be too involved, but they can watch their kids play a tournament or play matches, things like that. So the mezzanine is a big deal. That's why I'm really excited about that. We'll have world-class outdoor tennis courts from asphalt to clay with show courts and spectator viewing stands. Right-sized tennis courts for 10 and under youth.
Yeah, blended lines.
The ability to expose more players to this great sport of ours. The ability to host USTA district, sectional, and national level events. I'm so sure that we're going to ask, I know we're going to go to Coach DeMisa and get this approval to have these national and sectional level tournaments, right? The buck stops with you? I don't have to go anywhere else? All right, good. Okay. The ability to serve as a hub in DC for youth coming from satellite DC programs seeking advanced training. Coach DeMisa is one of the best. I know there's a lot of people that are going to look up to him, a lot of kids that are going to look up to him as a mentor and a coach, and I can't wait for that to happen. A recent USTA study showed that youth who play tennis, when compared to youth who play other sports, 48% spend more time studying, 81% more say that they will graduate from college, 73% fewer are suspended or expelled, and 82% are more community-minded and well-rounded. This expansion and renovation at the Southeast Tennis Learning Center will mean that even more youth will have the opportunity to better their lives. USTA DC continues to be a proud and strategic partner of the Southeast Tennis Learning Center and the Department of Parks and Recreation. This partnership has allowed us to make tremendous strides in our mission, and we are very excited about what the future holds for both our organizations. Thank you.
My daughter's laughing at me because I keep putting my granddaughter, but anyway, it's my house, so I can do it. The next two people who I'm going to introduce have been an integral part of our growth and development. I want to start with DeMisa, because I'm going to say a lot about both of them so they can say a little bit so we can help them get through this program. It's going a little longer than it should be going, so we need to cut some of these comments down. That being said, Mark's story is right. We were looking for somebody to bring our tennis back to where it used to be under the glory days of Dr. McKnight. And Mark suggested to me, so it wasn't like that simple. It took me 6 months to get him to come here. But he finally got here. We went through a lot of hoops. But since he's been here, this year, we have record enrollment. Amazing. If you ever drive by here between the hours of 4 and 7, you will not believe what you see. We have so many kids, and they're not just out on those courts. If you watch the leadership that he has provided for the tennis, these coaches are teaching some tennis. These kids are hitting some balls. Am I right, parents? And our summer program was so awesome that a lot of kids from the summer program enrolled. And I mean, we really, Mr. Mayor, need to hurry up and get that new facility because we don't have the space or the personnel to meet the needs of the community. And I really attribute Dr. Shanklin and all those who can have control over that situation. I really credit that to Demisa because not only of his ability to teach tennis like he teaches tennis, but also his leadership and guidance with the coaches. And so I'm very proud to acknowledge him and have him say a few words, very few words. And the other person that, I know you guys want to get back to the courts and everything, and the other person is Jerry Ingram, who is not only our site director, but she is the director of tennis for the Department of Parks and Recreation. And so if you notice that there's much more tennis going on in the city, it's because of her leadership and her guidance and some of the things that she has done and the partnerships that she has forwarded for all of us, like with the City Open. Our relationship with the City Open has really, changed. They didn't used to like us. And now we're all working together. And Jerry, I credit Jerry for that and thank her for that. I always like them. So the two working together has really improved tennis with Demisa in the center and with Jerry in the city. So you all please come and have a very few words. Thank you.
All right. Well, like she said, I'm just super passionate. It's a blessing for me to be here. And like she said and Mark said earlier, I grew up in a program just like this, so I'm really passionate. Actually, Ms. Barry's nickname for me is the Madman. Because anytime I'm out here teaching, I'm like racing up and down from court 1 to court 6 all over the place, making sure coaches are doing what they're supposed to be doing, making sure our kids are on point. But like I said, man, this is just a beautiful place, and I'm super excited for the renovation and the construction. And we're about to build this place to be really, really awesome. And believe it or not, in the future, we're going to have some great champions, not just only on the court, but in life as well. Okay? Keep it short.
Okay, before I say what I want to say is, first of all, I'd like to thank all of the parents and volunteers who came out today, and the parents who come out every day, and the volunteers who come out for every event. So please give yourself a hand. I'd also like to have all the youth tennis players to please stand. If you could, all youth, not just Southeast Tennis and Learning Center players, but all players. Please know that all of this is for you. This is all for you. It's for your tennis game as well as your educational experience through life. I definitely would like to thank everybody on this stage and everybody out in the audience who had a hand in making this happen. Of course, the Southeast Tennis and Learning Center staff. I actually started in the NJTL on the Anacostia tennis courts. And for all of you all sitting there, you need to know that you can start in the NJTL. You can play at 4-Star Tennis Academy and become pro, because that was my line from the NJTL to 4-Star, so it's great to be working with Bob. And then you can also have a pro and go to college. Myself and Demisa both did it, and we both started in the NJTL program. So don't think that you can't do it. You just have to put one foot in front of the other every day. Do your best to get it done. And I just want to say I'm very excited. At Southeast Tennis and Learning Center, excellence is the standard. I know that every day and every year we're going to get better, and this new renovation is going to make us better. I hope that everyone will come out and use these tennis courts to make your game better, get more people playing tennis, use the education program so you can take your tennis and your education to college. And if you go pro, that's, what should I say? Icing on the cake. So thank you all for coming out, and I look forward to seeing you all back on the court in 5 minutes.
Okay, we're almost finished. Speaking of pro, there was a man who everybody should know here named Dr. Arnold McKnight. He was the co-founder of the Southeast Tennis and Learning Center. I say that because he wrote the first proposal that we wrote to go get the funding to build the Southeast Tennis and Learning Center. He was our first site director, and he had a son that started playing tennis in the womb. Now, if you all ever knew little Woody McKnight, you knew what I'm talking about. Unfortunately, Dr. McKnight left us in 2007. Woody went away, didn't play, and then he came back 4 years later. I'm going through this story really quick. But Woody is back with us, and not only is he back playing tennis, but I promise you, take the picture. Remember, I said it. He's going to be at center court one day of the U.S. Open. He's going to be #1 in the world. And so I'm going to introduce him to come up and say a few words with some kids. But before I do that, I was going to do it after Woody finished, but my board gets uncomfortable. So I'm the chairperson. I am the executive director, the CEO of the Recreation Wish List Committee. I'm the founder of it. I have many board members here, and they want to be acknowledged now. They don't want to be acknowledged 5 minutes from now. So I would like each one of them to stand. Michael Rogers, Nina May, Tamara Lawson, Tiffany Rose, Isha Price, Carrie Pearson. Am I missing anybody? Oh, Dr. Julianne Melvo. Oh my God, give them a really big hand. Thank you so much for coming. I'm making fun, but you know, everybody always sees me. I'm not the one. I couldn't do it without the board. And on October 26th, the Chamber of Commerce is giving us the Community Impact Award. So that's for the Recreation Wish List Committee. Woody, would you come up, please? Thank you.
Good afternoon now. Good afternoon. The Southeast Tennis and Learning Center is an excellent facility where tennis and education come together to give us students a rich experience. As Ms. Barry said, I myself grew up at the center. I was 4 years old when the center first opened, running up and down these halls, hitting on the courts every day. I mean, it was just a great experience when I was younger, and I took it for granted because after my father passed away in 2007, I went to College Park, and I went to all these other private coaches. And not only did we spend so much money getting less than what I got here when I was younger, it wasn't a sense of family. It was just a coach. We were paying him money. He was giving me lessons, a few balls here, a few points played, and that was it. I really wasn't getting much of anything. But with the center, it's not only a facility with coaches and tennis and education. It's a family. We're a family here. Everyone cares about each other. Everyone wants to see each other do good. And that's what I love. It's not just, so I love the feeling of family. And I know my dad is smiling down right now on me where I'm standing right now. Under Coach D, Coach Demisa, give him a big hand of applause. Under Coach D, in less than a year, I've caught up to most of my peers and surpassed most of my peers. In less than a year, after being away from tennis for 4 years, so that's a great milestone. And with this renovation will help my tennis grow exponentially. It really will. I mean, the clay courts, I can't wait. The new courts inside out, the mezzanine, the new bubble, the new add-ons to the building, everything. It's just going to be awesome. And this is going to be, like Ms. Barry said, the greatest center in the Mid-Atlantic region. The greatest center in the nation. That's what I believe. It really is. And I just want to say it's not me. It's not just me. It's not just me that this center will help. It's everyone else, all the other students that attend. Little Rajan here, also a great tennis player, bright future. Little Raven, I love her attitude. She has an attitude and fight of Venus. Camera, she hits like Serena, hits the ball so hard. Hits the ball hard as hell, I swear. I'm like, she's 14, I can't believe it. She hits the ball like a man. But that's just what I want to say, and I just want to say yes. My dream is to become the #1 men's professional tennis player in the world. And there are a lot of naysayers out there. There were naysayers with this renovation. There were naysayers with this center period. But look where we stand right now. We stand right now at the Southeast Tennis Learning Center grounds. And in 2014-15, we will be standing at the new state-of-the-art facility, the new Southeast Tennis and Learning Center. Thank you, Southeast.
This boy got some skills. If you've ever seen him in Blacks and Wax, he's been Frederick Douglass, Martin Luther King, and he can play some hell of some tennis. So I'm really good. So we're just about, you want to say something else? You see, and he got an ego. So that's what happens. But before I go any further, I didn't see her, but when I spoke about the Community Impact Award for the Recreation Wish List Committee, the person who's responsible for the most phenomenal organization and the best event that anybody can go to every year and is a constant supporter of the Southeast Tennis and Learning Center is here. Barbara Lang, where are you? There she is. Thank you for coming. So did I leave anybody else? We're getting ready to hit some dirt and then go on and eat some fish and keep on playing. Did I forget anybody? All right then, you guys, we're gonna break ground with Turner Construction and Moody Nolan, and I need the chairman over there, and I need you to come over. All right, thank you. 2, 3, 1, let's go. Yeah.